I am Carolyn Choate, and I am joined here today with a very special guest, James D. Feldman, who has created such a cool tool. As soon as I saw him show it off, I said, "Oh, my audience needs to see this, and I need this, and everybody I know needs this. This is incredible." It is a way for speakers to much quicker and easier find places to speak. So, James, would you like to introduce yourself and a little introduction to what the tool is?
Today's podcast episode is brought to you by AI Stage Finder. More on them during the interview. You can find my affiliate link in the description.
Certainly. As she said, I'm James Feldman. You call me James because it searches better on Google, but then everyone else calls me Jim. So I've been a speaker for a very, very long time. I've done over 1,500 speeches. And part of the difficulty was always finding the opportunity to speak. You've created your speech, you've created your sizzle reel, you've created all the materials, but at the end of the day, you still got to sell it to somebody. Now, whether you're doing it so that you can sell from the stage or whether you're getting paid to speak, you still have to find the opportunity. And the old way of doing it was Google search, etc., and really just a long process. With the advent of AI, my partner and I were able to create a tool that searches the internet based on who you are, based on your content, based on your target audience, and based on your geographic preferences. Do you only want to work within a certain zip code, only in certain parts of the country, all over the country, or all over the world? And so to use the tool, you fill out a form one time. We then test it. You then try it a few times. We then tweak it until we're sure that it is indeed searching for those things that you have identified. The rest of it is up to you. It will do lots of the, call it heavy lifting, but at the end of the day, you still have to send the emails, you still have to make the phone calls, but highly targeted and, of course, very, very productive.
And you'll see in a moment, because we're going to demonstrate, you'll see that it gives you some scripts and ideas about what emails, what voicemails, like you really take so much of the effort out of it. So I think we should just jump right in, and I'll share my screen and show you mine. So this is the one that was built for me. So like James said, I only have to do this one time, filled out a Google form, and they put in like what I speak about and who I am, so that all I have to do is put just these things. So I'm not going to put somewhere else. I'm going to put Northeastern because I'm in Massachusetts, and we're going to pick a time that I want to speak.
Now, when you're putting in the time, remember that most opportunities are already filled less than 90 days out. That's not to say you might not stumble on an opening, but if you really want to get the best value of what it does, give it at least 90 days or more. And then if you've started to fill up all those opportunities, you could work backwards and say, let me see if there's something that somebody canceled out on. And interestingly enough, I was testing this with somebody over the weekend, and that individual said, well, let's see what happens in April. And I thought, oh, this isn't going to. 3 opportunities popped up.
Wow.
And I was shocked. I really was. And so we sent it out and got a response, literally. And the person responded and said, oh, thank you so much for reaching out. You know, our keynote speaker got sick and we reposted it, and tell me more about you. And I think today or tomorrow, she's going to end up with the opportunity.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so after I do my like 6 months out, I'm going to try April too, because I have a book launching in April. I would love
I can't promise that. It was
just a guarantee, right? All right, so I hit submit. It's going to take a little time to scour the entire internet and find me amazing opportunities. And I've played with it a little bit already, so I know that that is true.
Remember, it is literally scrubbing the entire internet in that particular criteria. So you see, search for August 25th, marketing or small business events or conferences in the Northeast United States. We only want official information.
Now, this is where you really have to be patient because I have been like, oh, it's not doing anything. I'll put a different month. And then it comes up with August and then immediately erases it because I wasn't patient enough. So, yeah, have to. And it gives us a little update about what it's doing. So that helps.
And then while we're doing that, if you point out those two little pages over it, once this is done, it'll create a PDF that you can post into a Word doc or notes or wherever you keep things. Because one of the things that you want to remember is that after it's done all this scrubbing, keep everything, pick the one that you want, and then go from there. Now, you see, that took us what, a minute?
The amount of time that it would take me to search through Google trying to find speaking opportunities, I can't even put into words how much time that takes. It is so annoying. Okay, so they had trouble finding something for me in August in this area with my topic, but they said, okay, well, how about some of these ideas?
Now,
So,
you picked August. Look what it came up with. Came up with June,
even earlier, we
even
got that
earlier,
down.
right?
Okay, and it
Now,
says why this event is a good fit for me, right?
yes. So every time it comes up, it will tell you why it thinks this works.
Oh, this is suggesting August might even be too far out that maybe
Yeah, how
someone
about that?
haven't posted their things yet. Recommended actions, monitored listings. Okay, but we can take this one that we found and then basically you said last time I don't have to copy and paste the whole thing in. I
No,
just
no, not at all. All you really need is the website.
so copy this link and put it in here and it's going to come up with my whole
Now,
proposal.
while it's doing that, make your PDF of the left side.
Okay.
So you have scroll, there you go.
And you do have to actually copy and paste it. I did
Correct.
not read those instructions the first time. So you do actually have to do Control C or Command C, and then you can put it into your separate document.
So
So,
what we're seeing now, Carolyn, is it's going through rather rapidly a lot of information. Let it finish. You'll see the progress bar still moving.
yeah.
So here's the first thing. You're never going to get this in your own Google search. What are the challenges? How did it come up with the challenges? It scrubs any LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, anything that's on the internet that mirrors up to the, what do we call it, Digimarcom Northeast, and it comes up with the three challenges. Now, right off the bat, you've got information that you can use in your introduction.
Yeah, you can really customize.
Well, it shows the
Yeah.
meeting planner that you're paying attention to who they are, that you're not just a, spray and pray kind of person going out there.
Yep.
So now let's scroll down a little bit. Here's an introduction email to your audience and to everybody else. This is generated by AI. You have the obligation to read it and customize it and make sure that it's factual. So, for instance, another client was showing me she sent out a lot of emails without checking, and one of them was to Sydney. And she kept referring to Sydney as he, and Sydney was a her.
Ooh.
AI doesn't know the difference. You can only read the difference when it's said in her bio something like, as the mother of three, which was probably a pretty good clue.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's quite
Okay,
a step.
let's scroll down a little more. Here's a voice script. You and I know that most people are not going to pick up the phone. So be prepared with the voice script and you can augment it. This is your voice script. So sometimes I'll leave one and say, I was doing some research and I discovered that one of your challenges, and we go back up, pick out one of the challenges, Now you've got my attention. This is not just somebody trying to sell me bells and whistles. This is somebody who is seriously offering to collaborate. And that's a magic word. I talk about collaboration as opposed to hire me for this or pay me for that.
Mm.
Because my client is not the audience. My client is the meeting planner.
Mm-hmm.
And I say to the meeting planner all the time, my job is to make you the rock star, not me. I'm on stage for 60 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever the time is, and then I'm gone. You're still there. I
Yeah.
want you to get all the kudos. I want you to get all the credit. I want you to take all the applause.
That is a great way to look at it. Yes. And here is
Okay?
a follow-up email sequence. So we all know that follow-up is crucial to all kinds of things in the business world. So you definitely need to like keep on checking in, make sure that they're remembering to book you, basically.
Now, I use a product called Engage Pro and set up all of these in a folder that I will, for the moment, call Digimarcon, and it will say on March 17th, I sent out the welcome letter.
Mm.
A week later, I want have it send me a reminder to do this one. 2 weeks later, another reminder, etc. It is not going to send them out automatically, but it is just a very easy to use reminder system. And then once again, depending on how important this is, I always suggest you go to the website, you go in and you look for the team or the staff or about us, and you find who's the decision maker, the meeting planner, etc. And maybe it's not identified that way. Maybe you just go right to the president. And
Mhm.
then you read the bio of the president. It turns out that the bio of the president says that he or she has an affinity chocolate. Well, I'm a chocolatier. So I'll get the address and I'll send some chocolate and say, I was reading your bio. I understand you liked some chocolate. I make this chocolate myself. I hope you enjoy it. And how many people will pick up the phone and say, thank you? What else do you do?
Wow. That is above and beyond.
Again, let's say for conversation, you're not a baker. Spend $25. Is it not worth that for prospecting? You'd spend that on a Facebook ad or Google or whatever.
Some real relationship building, which is one of the core traffic strategies that I will preach about. Collaboration, partnership, affiliate is like one of the core ways to get attention to your business. And
Okay, so let's scroll down. We've got a short description for the RFP.
each
We've got a detailed description. We've got the learning objectives. That's always in an RFP. What's the audience going to get out of this?
Mhm.
Here's the benefits that the audience will get. Then they want to know who you are as quickly as possible so that they can publicize it. So you put that right in.
I'm a
And
transformative figure.
and then your AI stage finder looks for additional events that mirror the one that you've just worked on. And it can come up with as many as 10 additional events. So on the left side, the first search is up to 10. You move one of them over and it gets another 10. So every one that you get can have up to 20 at a time easily, assuming they're out there. If you do this for an hour a day, 5 days a week for a month, you're going to end up with a couple hundred RFPs. And by sheer numbers, you should be getting some responses.
Yeah. Wow. Gonna save those. These look amazing, and I'll just probably put one of these back into here and start it over again. It's amazing. This is
So the simplicity of the tool is like everything else in AI. The more information you provide, the more accurate the information you give it, the tool learns about you, your content, your preferences, your geographic interests, etc. and goes from there. Now, it may be that you are not looking for paid speeches. You're looking for stages where you can sell from the front of the room. You just tell the bot that's what you're looking for, and the bot will look for those as opposed to the paid ones.
And you help people to get it really dialed in, even beyond what we put in our Google document, because you or Google form, you work with people to make sure it's all squared away.
Well, it does neither one of us any good if it's not working. So here's my favorite one so far. Person called me up and said, this just isn't working. It's taking way too much time. I'm not getting any responses. I said, how many of you sent out? I've sent out 65 emails. Well, did you read them? No. Did you customize them? No. Can I just see one of the emails? Not only did she have the pronoun he versus her incorrect, but the email address that she had put in of her own email was incorrect.
Oh, wow,
I'm
you can't get
sorry.
any responses if you don't put your own email in, right?
I mean, AI is good, but it's not that good.
Even a human can't mind read like that. Wow.
So sometimes you have to go back to quote the analog way of doing things and make sure that you did put in the right email address, etc.
Yeah.
Somebody this week left me a voicemail with the wrong phone number.
Oh my.
Fortunately, I found it on caller ID, called the fella back, and I said, "What's this phone number? It doesn't work." Oh, you're right. I disconnected that about a year ago, and I guess I was just in so much of a hurry. You know, everybody, take a deep breath, think about it. What are you trying to do? Make sure that the information is correct. This does work if you give it the right information and you spend the time following up.
Mhm. I just, like I said, I immediately caught the vision of this is a huge game changer for anybody who is doing speaking as part of their business. It's just blows me away that it takes, there's still effort to go into it. They're still putting time in to customize it, but it just saves weeks of effort. It's amazing.
Well, and our team wants you to be successful. It does us no good to have people out there that have bought the tool that aren't getting success out of it. So
For sure.
one of the things that we're going to start doing in the near term is we're going to start having a once a month or every other week open forum for people to come to on a Zoom call and just say, I got this question or having this issue or can you give me this suggestion? Because I think everybody's learning. I mean, we certainly are learning from the users. So once the user starts to have that experience and says, hey, I got these 10 and then I moved it over to the one and I lost the 10. Okay, fine. So that's how we ended up putting in the PDF form because we suddenly realized that that was something that people were not doing, that they weren't copying it on their
Yeah,
own. So let's make it easier for them to copy.
nice. I might show up to those meetings just as this is a set aside time where I can actually send out the proposal and send out the follow-up email.
I have said to everybody, if you spend an hour a day, 5 days a week for a month, you're bound to get some business. I can't guarantee that. I mean, your content is up to you, your fees are up to you. There's all kinds of barriers to entry just from doing business.
Yeah,
But if you've sent out 200 RFPs, the law of averages and everything else would say you're going to land a couple. And then the other thing is that currently we have partnered up with PayPal. And depending on your credit score and PayPal still having the program, we've seen almost everyone get a 0% 6 month financing. So literally, you have no money tied up. You have 6 months to pay for it. And certainly within 6 months, you should be getting a few paid speaking engagements. And I'll basically say to most professional speakers, what's it worth to you to get more speeches? If you invest one speech and you end up getting 10 or 20 or 50 in the course of a year, it's got a pretty good ROI.
Yeah. And I did the PayPal financing, so yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming and showing it off. And I do have an affiliate link. So in the description, you can find the link to check it out and purchase your own version customized to you. Everybody go out and click and play with it and have lots of fun making AI work for you.
Stage Finder is for the right speech at the right time for the right speaker.